Hi, this is Misha, and this video is basically trying to address a question that appears on the internet a lot and that I get asked as a gun dealer a lot. What is the difference between the Mossberg 500, 590, and 590A1? And we have several other videos featuring the 590A1, its military service and all that, so this isn't about that. We'll link to those if you're interested. But I just kind of wanted to briefly go over the differences. So I just happened to have in the store a couple of models of each style, and I thought I could just pull them out tonight and show you. In my hands is a Mossberg 500 tactical home defense type. It does have a tri-rail pump, which some do, some don't. It has a 20-inch cylinder bore barrel. It has this type of end cap here, which unscrews. And if you notice, it keeps unscrewing forever because it's actually captive. Pump this back here. As part of the barrel. It stays part of the barrel. If you look, it's just a screw with a gnarled edge, part of the barrel. Under it is a standard tube. Since this is a tactical version, this is a 7+1 shot tube. And nice and secure down. We have a standard pump action. This is a standard weight barrel. This one has a matte finish on it. We have an alloy receiver, as Mossbergs always have. The 500 of this style is drilled and tapped on the top for a scope ring or base or whatever. We have a ambidextrous hang-mounted safety here. It's made of polymer. See? We have a typical polymer trigger guard. The bolt release is right here, where you can easily grab it. We do have a dual extractor in here on the bolt, which is nice. And we've got a typical Mossberg where the elevator stays up when not in use. And there's it. This is, like I said, a typical tactical 500 style. Polymer stock on it, rubber butt plate, nothing special there. So that's the 500. This is Mossberg's basic model that's been out since the early 60s. This does have a little laser thing on it from the factory that's not standard, but it's just what happened to be on the one I pulled out of the box. So that's the 500. Now the 590 came out in the 90s and was really a police version or early militarized version. Now this one here is what I have in stock. This is a new version that just came out that has an 18-inch barrel. This is new for 2016, 2017. Yeah, I guess it was 2016 when these came out. Up until last year, they only offered this in a 20-inch barrel version. This is still a standard profile barrel. I think, yeah, it's the same diameter as the 500. We're pretty much the same gun back here. We have a a polymer safety still, polymer trigger guard, buttstock's all the same. The major difference is the attachment of the tube up here. Now, this has a +1 extension on it, but it works exactly the same as the end cap. This unscrews, and it's going to go spring, don't worry. But if this was just a knotted +1, it would just end here and just be a cap. Now what that does, that lets you take your barrel off this way, so it slides off. So the barrel cap, the barrel thing that holds the barrel on, is removable. Now on a standard capacity model, the spring wouldn't be sticking out. There would be a little snap ring in here, which I'll show you in a minute on a different one. But yeah, that's the major difference between the 500 and the 590, the way the barrel is secured on. Normally, the 18-inch version without the extension will hold 5+1, sometimes 4+1 if the shells are of the longer style. As some of you know, 12 gauge shells aren't always the exact same length. So, for example, in my other video, you'll see that I have a Cruiser 590A1. I've always been able to get 6 in it total without worrying, but sometimes you can only get 5. It's just how it goes. This with the extension will sometimes hold 6 and sometimes hold 7. The 7th one you have to kind of press in there, but it will go. Again, we're talking about some 12 gauge, some you can only get 6 in. It's just right on the edge. And I misspoke a minute ago. I said 4+1. I meant to say it could either be a 5+1 or a 6+1 without the extension. Sorry. It's been a long day. You get a lot of numbers in your head. So one benefit of this extension, aside from letting on the 590 the style of attaching the barrel, it does allow extra space in the tube because you don't have a screw coming down into it. The military liked this style because it let taking the barrel off be easier, and it allowed them to clean inside the tube easier. This is the 590, and essentially besides that it's the same gun as the 500 back here. Now the 590A1 is the basic militarized model that people talk about today. This is the version with all the military updates. Let's start back though up here. This is the standard end cap that's normally on the 20-inch or even 18-inch 590s without the extension. Like this. That's standard. And as you see, there's a snap ring in there to keep the spring in, but it's pretty easy to remove if you need to clean your tube. The 20-inch 590 has the same profile. Has these 2 rings for extra support. This tube will hold 8, so it has an 8+1 capacity in the 590A1 with the 20-inch barrel. Same goes for the 590 with the 20-inch barrel and full-length tube. It has a bayonet lug here. All your 20-inch 590A1s will have it. Your 18-inch 590A1s will not have it because there's just not room for it. The 18-inch 590s will not have a bayonet lug. Some of the 20-inch 590s will have the lug. Originally they all did, but some of the newer models, like for example the Mariner with the nickel coating, do not have the bayonet lug. But all your 20-inch 590A1s will have this lug. The barrel itself is of a heavier, thicker profile. This was done at the request of the Navy. We still have an alloy drilled and tapped receiver. On the 590A1 we have a metal safety, and we have a metal trigger guard, and the buttstock again is the same. We still have dual extractors inside here, and we have the typical Mossberg elevator and all that there. So that's really the difference. It's not a huge difference in all of them, especially between the 500 and the 590. The only difference being the way the barrel attaches and the end piece. Also, some of the 590s again have bayonet lugs. The 590A1 is basically a beefed up version of the 590 with the heavier barrel and the metal parts. But other than that, the action, the system, the receiver, the furniture is all the same and interchangeable. Capacities on these range from 5 up to 8, just depending on the exact model. And again, different shell lengths will allow for a few different types to be put in. I've noticed with different types like Federal and Winchester, I can usually get one more shell in compared to some of the others like Remington. But yeah, just thought we would have a quick little thing here about the different Mossbergs, since the question comes up a lot. I hope this was at least a little bit helpful, and since I had them in hand. I do typically stock and sell Mossbergs. I like them. I've had good luck with them. I find them to be easy to use, affordable, and just, good, reliable shotguns. But yeah, I'd like to have a discussion. If anyone has any questions, let's post them in the comments about Mossbergs and do our best to try to help out. As always, this is Misha. We really appreciate you tuning in. If you like the video, do click like, please, and check in soon for future videos.